What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review, and I just got out of watching the new Child's Play. So I wanted to give my thoughts on it while it's still kind of fresh in my brain. This took a lot of departures from the original Child's Play movie. You know, the original Child's Play movie was a serial killer who used voodoo magic to get his soul into a doll. This one was very much an AI that malfunctions. Now, I say malfunction, but it doesn't really malfunction. There's a specific reason why it does what it does, and it's something that somebody does at the beginning of the movie. But, so, this takes a lot of departures from the original Child's Play. A lot of departures as far as Chucky is concerned, and even the voice. I know Mark Hamill did the voice, and by the way, I really like the voice of Chucky in this movie, but the voice didn't sound anything like the original Chucky. The look was incredibly different. This was just a completely different take on Child's Play, on the Chucky doll. And they probably had to do that because, as we know, the Child's Play, the original series of Child's Play movies is still going strong. They've got several, they've had a few direct-to-streaming movies, and I think they have it's either another direct-to-streaming or a direct-to streaming TV show. It might be a movie, it might be a TV show, I forget, but I know that they're continuing the original Chucky timeline. So this is a completely different take. And I gotta tell you guys, I liked most of it. This felt very much like an old 80s slasher movie. The movie that really came to mind, I know that the plot was a lot different, but obviously, but Chopping Mall came to mind. An AI that goes berserk. This felt very much like an old 80s slasher movie, and I think that was its strongest point, is when it had the 80s slasher movie vibe going. That's when this movie was great. This movie tried to do some more modern things that didn't work quite as well. There was a group of kids that were friends with Andy. By the way, how great was it that his name was Andy, right? We know that Andy is the kid's name from Toy Story. Toy Story came out the same weekend as Child's Play came out. That was nice. But Andy had a group of friends that teamed up with him to help stop this Chucky doll. I got some It vibes from this team, from this team of kids. I really did. I got some It vibes, and I don't know if that's what they were going for, but that's what I got. And I don't know. It kind of felt like they were trying to do something a little more modern with the Chucky story. Just do the throwback. And let it be an homage to 80s slashers. There's a couple of things that made it feel a little more modern. The kills were very gory for a Child's Play movie. I know that Child's Play is about a maniac doll that goes around killing people, but the original movies had somewhat of I don't know, all those 80s slasher movies, you knew what was happening, but they didn't necessarily show you the gore at the extent that they could have in the 80s. I don't know if that was for censorship or what, but they went all out with the gore in this, and all out with the kills in this. This was the most gory Child's Play movie ever, and I don't know, like I said, I feel like that was the filmmaker saying, let's do something modern with Chucky. Modern audiences are desensitized to what Chucky did back in the day. Let's push the envelope and make it more gory. So, not that I had a problem with that. Not that I have a problem with the kids, per se. It just felt like they were trying to modernize Chucky a little bit. Forget the AI. The AI, they were definitely trying to modernize Chucky. There's no doubt about that. Making Chucky an AI was an attempt to modernize this franchise. But there were a couple other touches in there that were, where they were looking to modernize the story itself. As I mentioned before, Mark Hamill did the voice of Chucky. Very good job. He's a very good voice actor. The boy who plays Andy, he reminded me very much of the original Andy, and the way he looks and the way he behaved. This is a little older version than the version from the original movie, but he reminded me of the original Andy. Aubrey Plaza played the mom very convincingly. That, you know, I felt like this was a modern mom, a modern single mom, anyways, and she was able to bring some of her comedic touches to it and still be that serious mom that we'd be looking for in a movie like this. So I really liked her in the movie. There was a side story with a detective. He was a good addition. I know I've seen the actor who plays him before. I can't think of his name on the top of my head. So the acting was okay. It was probably a little bit better than you typically get in a movie like this. One of the big strikes against this movie for me is just the number of kills that this movie had. We're going to a horror movie, a slasher movie, expecting to see some kills, and there's not a lot of them. There's really not a lot of them. A handful. There's a handful. The killing doesn't start until we're well into the movie. Chucky has to do his bonding with Andy, and then he needs to have his opportunity to do his malfunction, yada, yada, yada. So the killing doesn't start until we're probably well into the second act, towards the end of the second act. And there might have been one kill towards the beginning of the second act, and then the rest came towards the end and in the third act. So the number of kills that this movie had wasn't what you would expect in a movie like this. And even the end sequence where Chucky takes control of all the other Chucky dolls in the store, there was some neat stuff in there, especially with the Chucky dolls that look like bears. They were going on the bear attack. But yeah, the amount of, I believe that they could have, I don't know, this is weird. They went full out with the gore. The kills that we saw were incredibly gory, but they didn't go full out with the body count. The body count was very reserved, and, you know, I'm sure that there was a higher body count than we saw in the store at the end of the movie, but again, we didn't see a large body count in this movie. And, you know, we go to these horror movies to be scared and to see that body count pile up, and I just feel like this movie didn't quite have that. The end sequence, Andy versus Chucky, that was a nice scene, you know, looked like in the warehouse of the store, with Aubrey Plaza's life in danger. The detective was in play. You know, this was a nice scene, but for the most part, I feel like that kid would have gotten annihilated. I didn't find the fight believable. I didn't find the struggle believable because I felt like Andy would have been he would have been KO'd pretty quick. Overall, this was a nice homage to the original Child's Play. The original Child's Play is still far superior to this, but I would put this above several of the sequels. Like, I would put this above The Seed of Chucky. I'd probably put this even above, like, Bride of Chucky. Probably even ahead of Child's Play 3, to be honest. I mean, this was a good retelling of the Child's Play story for modern audiences, but it doesn't touch how good that original was. So I don't know. This movie wasn't bad. It just, I don't know how to really say it. It wasn't a bad movie. I was just expecting a little, I really don't know how to say it. I was expecting something different. And I guess expectations can ruin a movie for you. And it by no means ruined this movie. This movie wasn't ruined. I liked it. But my expectations for what I was going to get and then what I actually got kind of made me leave the theater kind of a little disappointed. So, I don't know. I give this movie a C+. This movie's a C+. This was a worthy effort. It was a good movie, but it wasn't what I wanted it to be. So, that's my take on Child's Play. Have you seen Child's Play yet? Let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. Thank you so much for being here at the LQ Review. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. That helps me get views. And I appreciate you being here where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. And until next time, we'll see you later.